Hello everyone and welcome back to the next installment of our 9.1 raid guides. This is Crzypck from Complexity Limit, and today we're going to show you how to kill Mythic Fatescribe Roh-Kalo in the Sanctum of Domination. Let's start with a short disclaimer. All of our Mythic guides will assume you have a good understanding of the heroic version of the encounter. We will not be discussing the basic mechanics, but instead the changes for Mythic and our strategy for how to defeat the Mythic version of the encounter. If you need a refresher on any of the basic mechanics for a fight, check out our heroic videos on the channel. For this fight, we recommend going in with 2 tanks, 4 healers, and 14 DPS. Like on heroic, we recommend putting a marker along each ring. There's a weak aura that we'll discuss later. You should use the colors shown in that. The fight itself has a few major changes for Mythic. In both occurrences of stage 1, the boss will periodically cast Grim Portent. This activates 10 runes across the rings and puts a small soak circle around them. At the same time, 10 random players will get debuffed. If you have the debuff, one of the soak circles will have a large visual effect over it, very similar to the Malevolence animation found in the Remnant of Ner'zhul encounter. You'll need to run to the rune where you see that visual effect. You have 9 seconds to get to your proper rune. After 9 seconds, all of the runes will explode, dealing mild damage to anybody soaking. However, if any don't get soaked, you wipe. Another Mythic change is a tweak to how Call of Eternity and Echo of Eternity work. On Mythic, when the explosions happen, all players with Call of Eternity and all existing Echoes of Eternity on the ground will now spawn 5 Fate Fragments. These work just like the Fate Fragments do during Stage 2 on Heroic. They float around slowly and hurt you if you run into one. Your raid should mostly just ignore them. As they start to accumulate and become annoying, have either a tank or a player with an immunity run around and just pop as many of them as possible. Another major change for stages 1 and 3 is that you'll now experience a bit of a dance from the Fated Conjunction. Every minute 20 into a new stage fighting Fatescribe, you'll get 3 casts of Fated Conjunction back to back, requiring careful positioning so you don't get blasted by any of the 3 sets of lasers. The final major change to the fight is that the runes during stages 2 and 3 will now shoot a laser while they're active. Yep, that's right, more laser beams. These will connect from each of the active runes to the exact center of the loom grid. These lasers will move as the runes move. Running through a laser will apply an extremely nasty dot to you. This is bad and your healers will be angry with you. The intent here from Blizzard seems to have been forcing really heavy coordination between your raid with the runes and therefore lasers, spinning in both directions, people needing to run around lasers, and precision being absolutely key. However, due to, math, none of that actually matters. As soon as the loom activates and the rings start spinning, have one person with runic affinity get to each active rune as quickly as possible. If you stand on a rune within the first few seconds of it being active and turn it clockwise, which is the direction with one person, it'll always be able to reach its target before time expires. Said another way, if you're fast enough getting to the runes, you'll only ever need to turn them one direction. No dodging lasers, no multiple directions. All the rings just go the same way, and you basically negate the Mythic mechanic for stage 2. The only difficulty of doing this is speed. You must get to the runes within a few seconds of them being active. If you're late, and your rune does have really far to travel, you won't make it and the raid will wipe. Okay, so let's get into the strategy. Stage 1 is handled mostly like Heroic. The 2 big exceptions are the Grim Portent and Fated Conjunctions. Grim Portent happens at 45 seconds in, then roughly every 3 minutes or so. All 10 affected players must stop whatever they're doing and get to the runes as quickly as possible. A single person being late will basically wipe the raid. Run to the rune you see a giant graphic above. Don't wait for that Chaos Bolt or aim shot to cast, just move. Additionally, as mentioned earlier, you'll see a dance of sorts from Fated Conjunction at a minute 20 into each stage 1. This is cast 3 times back to back, so the whole raid should move together and watch your feet. For tanks, when you get Invoked Destiny, move away from the raid and then kite your ad. You'll want to try and circle around the boss, kiting the ad as close to the boss for as long as possible. You'll want the ad to die on top of the boss if you can, so that when the smaller AoE ads spawn, they're all right next to him for really easy AoE. The last thing for stage 1 is to remember to run the Call of Eternity to the sides. These will spawn those Fate Fragment orbs, so don't get hit by them. Use an immunity if needed and have someone run around and pop a bunch if you get overwhelmed by them. Honestly, stage 1 feels mostly just like Heroic if you get used to the Grim Portent soaks and dealing with the little orbs floating around. In stage 2, you'll want one person with runic affinity to get to each rune as quickly as humanly possible. We've included a link to our weak aura for this. It'll automatically assign one person to each ring. The instructions on how to set it up and the markers used are included in the Wago page. Huge shout out to Relo for this awesome tech. We strongly recommend using this, as it'll help you be able to quickly and efficiently get someone to each rune and get them moving. As for the other players in the raid, your tanks will want to grab the 2 adds and get them stacked together, and the raid should just nuke them down. Stay stacked in your melee as a raid to help the healers more effectively AoE heal everyone. Dodge the orbs floating around, and again, use people with immunities, periodically run around and just pop a bunch of them to keep the area as clear as possible. Get the runes to their targets, kill off the adds, GG's. As in Heroic, you'll do stage 1 and stage 2 twice, with the first stage 2 at 70% and the second at 40%. Once you complete the second stage 2, you'll then head into stage 3. You'll have the loom activate once during this final burn, with 4 runes lighting up now. This time, the raid leader should call out 4 people who have runic affinity and call which ring they're going to. Since only 4 of the 6 are active, you can and should spin each ring in whatever direction is the shortest distance to the target. If any of the 4 people assigned by the raid leader need a second person to rotate their ring counterclockwise, call which marker that ring is and say something simple like, "Need second person diamond." If people have to run through a laser here, so be it. Pop a defensive and your healers just need to bomb heal through the dot. Remember, you only have 30 seconds in this stage to do all of the rings, so get them spinning as quickly as possible. Failing a rune here in stage 3 will likely be a pretty large number of your wipes as you progress the boss. Aside from that, stage 3 is really just the same as Heroic. Lust immediately when the boss activates for stage 3 and blast into him. You will get a set of the Faded Conjunction lasers as a dance like you saw in stage 1, so watch your feet and don't eat one of those to the face. Don't get hit by bad things, handle the Invoke Destiny ads like before, and just nuke really damn hard. GG's, and now you get to move on to the penultimate boss of the raid. If you enjoyed this guide, remember to give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to make sure you're subscribed to the channel to catch all of our previews, guides, kill videos, and more. From the team here at Complexity Limit, have a great day, and we'll see you next time.